Hey peeps, welcome back to Riven, the sequel to Mist. In the last episode, we managed to repower all of the quote-unquote broken books, linking us to the 223rd age. This time we will get there, see what's on the other side, and what we're going to do from that point onwards. Now, from what I've seen from Mist Journeys and what people have recommended, this is the point where a lot of the alternate endings start coming to pass. So I hope... So I'm not going to change too much of the setting. Apparently there's something you can change if you unlock the telescope beforehand versus if you do it after you go to 23rd age, to 23rd age. There's things that happen if you don't free Catherine versus if you do, etc. So if you're at this point of the game where you've powered the domes and stuff, this is where all of the alternate endings could pop up. So for this playthrough, for the sake of simplicity, I am going to focus mainly on the canonical ending. So I only read up to this point. I have not read ahead on Mist Journeys, so I'm pretty much as clueless as you are for those who are playing this for the first time. So I have no idea what ending I'm going to get with this playthrough, so we'll see. So for the sake of this, I've already got a save file for this part of the game already, so at least we don't have to retrace too much. If it gets to an alternate ending. So I already know what the canonical ending actually is. It's just that I just don't know what's the path to it. Kind of like how with Abduction, the ending we thought we were going to get was turned out to be the ending we were not supposed to get. So, and vice versa. The ending we thought we were not supposed to do ended up being the thing we actually were meant to do. But when you think about the science and the temporal stuff, it makes sense. So this one, there's a lot more variables. So I literally have no idea what would work in this case, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and start the game, shall we? But yeah, I'm pretty excited about this game. This game all week. I really want to see where this goes, because Gen sounds pretty intimidating from what I can tell from this. Also, a very, very, very happy Easter today and yesterday and Saturday. I hope everybody had a great holiday this weekend. And yeah, without further ado, let us get into it, shall we? Is my game sound working? I can't tell. Because I can't hear a thing. Where's my mouse? Yeah, I don't think my game sounds working because I would have heard something right now. Excuse me. Alright, so the sound does work. It's just, I think because I started it from the animation, it kind of jammed a little bit. So how about if I go back a little once my cursor appears, then it should work as proper as it should work as slated. There we go. Okay, there we go. I just need to restart it a little bit. Alright, you guys. You ready for this? Because once we go through, we are on the path to the end already. You ready? Okay, with this, we go through the 223rd age of Gideon. Let's do it. And we're in prison again. Brilliant. Just brilliant. We're stuck in prison again. Why is it we're starting these new parts in prison? Like, why the heck are we doing this? Oh. It's basically one giant doorbell. Brilliant. Hello? I don't know what's done you for hello.
I apologize for the cage.
Oh, really?
I'm afraid this situation has often required of me a more primitive code of conduct than I might otherwise have chosen.
You know who you're talking to?
I am Gen. I assume you've heard of me. Yes.
Repetition precedes you.
Well, I suspect you have acquired some false information of who I am now. Not that my son would have lied to you about me. No, not Atris. It's just that, well, I'm sure he believes me to still be the depraved father I once was. Yes. I even tried to kill him once. God, if I had accomplished that, who knows what I would have become. A great father indeed, who tries to murder his own son. Thankfully, he trapped me on age 5, a prison of my own creation. No books, no precious inks, no ages to link to, nothing but my own foolish ambitions. That was 30 years ago. 30 years, 30 lifetimes, what does it matter? No sentence could be too harsh for the man I was. But I have changed.
Have you?
To be sure, the deeds of my past can never be completely atoned for, but my mission was an honorable one. I'm sorry, this is all a bit awkward. It's been a long time since I've attempted to persuade anyone of my intentions. Most of the people here have already made their minds up about me one way or another. I myself do not trust the words of most men, so I don't expect you to believe me. In the end, though, you may discover that I do have more than mere words to offer.
Says the person in prison, my friend's wife.
Atris's choice of punishment has been hard on the people of Riven, and many have suffered because of it. The island has been steadily decaying for years, but according to my most recent measurements, it appears that the 5th age has entered its final days. Unless the villagers can be relocated soon, the island will collapse entirely and everyone will perish. It has taken me a long time to do it, but it appears that finally I'll be able to make some substantial amends to my past transgressions, especially in, well, I'm afraid I've had some trouble with Catherine and the moiety. In any society, there will always be a small percentage of the population with rebellious tendencies. Before Catherine appeared, the moiety, as they call themselves, had been relatively harmless. I mean, the natives here are a fairly violent people by nature, but I'd almost come to accept their presence. It seemed inevitable under the circumstances. Upon Catherine's return, however, their violence intensified considerably.
I wonder why.
It seems she's become some sort of religious savior to them. And as far as I can tell, she's come to believe this herself. So I've had no alternative. I had to separate her from her people. I must admit, though, that my concerns were not entirely for her safety alone. The actions of Catherine and the moiety have put my own life at risk on numerous occasions. Consequently, the lives of all the people here. Therefore, I must ask you to refrain from any attempt to free her.
Or what?
Although I'm sure Atreus desires it. Indeed, he must desire it with all his heart. But he is completely unaware of her recent state. Which brings me to the point of all of this. The linking book you brought with you. You're very fortunate to have recovered it. If I may. Thank you.
Be careful with that. And then my camera's not working right now, so I apologize. I don't know what happened with just it suddenly just stopped working. Well, you wanted to go back, so why don't you?
Perhaps it would be best if you went through first.
What?
You may need some time to decide. That is reasonable. Until then, as a token of my good intentions, I will allow you free access to my linking books, crude though they may be, and to the rest of the Fifth Age. Please understand, there is nothing I want more than a chance to resolve matters between Atreus and myself, especially in light of what has become of Catherine. But unless you are willing to demonstrate to me that your intentions are honorable, I cannot risk it. The sanctuary I've been writing for the islanders is nearly complete. After all these years, it would be a shame if I were unable to finish it. The work I am doing is quite demanding. Please don't signal me unless you've decided to use the book. The switch will reset itself once you link from here.
Okay, so we got we got a decision to make. I knew he was gonna post some stuff like that. Oh my god. Let me reset my camera real fast. Hold on, because my camera's not functioning for some weird reason. I changed, and nothing can make up for what I've done. I mean, I was still right, though. It's so true. Yep, I met Gen. So, yeah, like I said earlier, this is basically where all the endings basically diverge. Let me see if I can, like, reset my camera real fast, because I don't know what's going on. My computer is acting really strange with me right now. And now it's just doing annoying things, like make my camera not work the way it's supposed to. There we go. Okay, there we are. Here I am. Yeah, I changed, I promise, but I was right. But yeah, like, bruh, it's like classic villain move. Classic villain move, I'm telling you. But yeah, I don't know what to do. Because, like I said earlier, this is where you could get an alternate end, but then you also could get the correct ending too. And I wonder, I mean, it's a prison book, so technically if he followed me... Yes, yeah. He just started out, I assume you've heard of me. Yeah, your reputation precedes you, man. But yeah, I just kind of wonder, should I have, like, linked immediately? Like, that's what I'm wondering. Oh god, my mouse is doing the slow dance merengue. Come on, let me get in the game. Okay. So, so this one takes me to... which island is this one? This one is the... I'm assuming, I think this is back to the temple. Okay, so this one's back to the temple. I know the other one I haven't done is like Plateau, I think, or the prison one. This one is... I do not recognize this one at all, actually. I don't think I've done this one, actually. This one does not look familiar to me at all. There's no known time pressures. Never feel bad for thinking things through. That is true. There's no time. At least, like, with this, the time pressure's artificial. I don't think I've been to this island, actually. I've tried everything, but I don't think I've been to this one yet. This one is the temple one. I think, like, no, the other one was temple one. This one is, the jungle. That's right. This one's the jungle. The biggest one's the jungle. Ah, man! I don't know what's going on with my camera. You know what? Let me try something. I don't know what's going on with my camera. Like, my camera's just not behaving today at all. Yeah, I really don't know why my camera's just being disobedient today. Okay, let me try something. Hold on. I'm gonna have to try force quitting some stuff. Yeah, I had to reset it. Gotta force quit a few things. Hopefully it should. Okay. That's hilarious. But yeah, like I think it's like the most I've had on stream in a while. I had about like what, 5 people at this point, which is great. Yeah, like 5 people. That's great. So welcome to the stream. Possibly more back on YouTube. Let's see. This one, I know this one's the lab. This one's the lab island. So this one's like back on that mapping plateau. I'm gonna cut my hair on that thing. Yeah, I wonder what I froze on. I have to look back at the footage at some point. Yeah. So the Plateau Island's the only one I didn't reach, so let's see. Oh, this one's underneath the power station. Okay. It kind of makes you wonder, like, was it basically spinning on top of us when the dome went up? I kind of wonder that. And I think this one I already looked at, right? Oh yeah, this was a temple one. Okay. So the 5th one is literally the only one I have not been to. So... Oh! Hey! Did I freeze again? Yeah, so we got 6 people total, 5 on Twitch and 1 on YouTube, so welcome. But yeah, so now... So now we've got a big debate here. And I think I'm going to save at this point just to... Oh, wait, nope. Save. Okay. Last island. Or possibly get trapped. So, we pretty much got one or two options. We could either warp to this island, which I don't recall going to this one at all. Because I've went through every single monorail in in Riven, and I don't remember coming across this one. Yeah. I simulcast on both of them, so that's why. Or we risk it and we go ahead in the prison book. But on the other hand, if Gen is following behind me, he'll basically make me warp back here. On the other hand, though, he might know what's up and in turn decide not to go through, and thus I get a bad end. On my end, I see red. I see red for you, Gabe. You know what? I'm gonna risk it with the prison book. Because if Gen's following behind me, I at least know I'm going to come out the other side. If not, then, well, nice knowing you guys. It's not letting me... Oh, it's not letting me signal him this time. Yeah, it's not letting me signal him. He just left. So I basically literally had to do it right away. Yeah, I'm green. Like, I'm seeing green for you. Yeah, like, Gabe looks a bit more orange. Gallant Man looks more red. Yo and Toby look more green. Toby being the more brighter green. Wow, we got so many people tuning in today. This is awesome. But yeah, I think I might have messed up here, but this is the only one that I don't remember going to, so we're gonna go to this one. It's gonna be interesting. Let's see where I end up. So I at least saved to this point, so... And I saved right before I came to Gen's lab. So, we'll see what happens. Knowing me, I probably got a bad end, but let's see. Well, let's actually look around this island, since this is the only one that we haven't been to. This is the only one I don't recognize. Oh, yeah, this is definitely a new spot. I did not recognize this at all. Oh my god. Yeah, like, whoa. Huh. How does this work? Interesting sounds. I don't know what this does exactly. It's like an elevator. Let me see, there's 2 books here, so... Well, this is not going to tell me much because this is talking about recent events, whereas Catherine's book looks like Catherine's journal looks more in terms of events basically leading up until this point. I like the plot of this game. Like, there's so much. Like, I think like Riven. I think what like with Mist, you kind of had to. With Mist, you kind of have to fill. You kind of have to fill in your own context. Okay, you still need a combination. That's what the sound's for. Okay, let's try. You know what? I don't feel like searching through his office. Or maybe it might be an alternate ending-ish thing. We'll see. We'll see. So let's just guess at a few. Because obviously it's gonna be like 3 things, or maybe it's 5, knowing Gen. What am I supposed to do from here? This feels like a trap waiting to happen. So I know this is definitely the prison island. If I go back now, I essentially will be stuck. But I gotta get up here somehow. How about let me save from here. Okay, let's see. Let's try loading this one. Because let's see if we can, like, find anything in here that could hint at the combination. Or maybe I should have just jumped in the book when he loaded it. But knowing him, he would have set the thing on fire by the time I came back. Because he is smart enough to do that. You know what? I might try and see. Let's go back further. Let's go back further. If we jump into that book immediately, let's see what happens. The probability is pretty good. Gen already suspects that it's a trap. But let's try anyway. So we're gonna hear him monologuing once more, but at least we'll be able to, like, jump in. You know? So that way he won't suspect a thing. Alright, so let's look around here. So, unfortunately, the books are still dead when you come in here. So, coming in presumptively doesn't exactly work here. So not really anywhere else to go. So let's like actually try pressing the book right away, and then we'll see what happens. Probably it's pretty good. It won't do much good, but we'll see. But yeah, let's mute Gen for just a little bit while we talk. I know this does not seem to be the smartest thing to do. But on the other hand, though, he already suspects us. And the dude has a god complex as big as Thanos. So let's be frank here.
I apologize for the cage.
I will admit, though, the costuming looks nice, though. Like,
I'm afraid this situation is often
he knows how to put an
required of me
outfit
a more
together.
primitive code of conduct than I might otherwise have chosen.
And his accent's great.
I am Gen. I assume you've heard
But
of
yeah,
me.
I think like for those who like puzzlers who just like
Yes.
things to like press all
Well, I
over,
suspect
this one's a
you
good
have
one to
acquired
go
some
for.
false information of who
Now,
I am
in
now.
terms of the password,
Not that
I
my
have
son
no
would have
idea
lied to you about me.
what to look for. I'm assuming it's
not
one of these
Aegis, it's just
sound
that-
areas here.
Well, I'm sure he believes me to still
But
be
yeah,
the depraved
so we're gonna try-
father I once was.
3 things we are going to try.
Yes.
We are going to try
I even tried to kill him.
finding a combination,
God, if I had
We're gonna
accomplished
try-
that, who knows what I would have become.
jumping into the
Great
prison
father
book
indeed, who tries to
first.
murder
Let's
his
try
own
that
son.
first, and then we'll go from here.
Thankfully, he trapped me on age 5, a prisoner
But
of
yeah,
my own creation.
I think
No books,
knowing
no
him,
precious inks. No
he's going to
Aegis
want
link
us to jump in.
Nothing but my own foolish ambitions.
Thankfully, I did save beforehand,
That was
so at
30
least we
years
will be able
30
to
years,
come back. If
30
things go
lifetimes,
south.
what does it matter? No sentence could be too harsh for
But yeah,
the man
how's everyone doing today?
I have changed.
I'm doing pretty good myself.
To be sure, the deeds of my past can never be completely atoned for. But my mission
All right.
was an honorable
So,
one.
how to convince him to...
I'm sorry, this is all a
Also,
bit
the other
awkward.
thing that I figured out from his journal is
It's been a long time since
his
I've
pipe
attempted
basically
to persuade
holds
anyone of my intentions. Most of the people here have
the
already
Dunny
made their
equivalent
minds up about
of
me one way or another. I myself do not
420,
trust the words of most
the
men,
ganja.
so I don't expect you to believe me.
Yeah,
In the
like
end,
that's
though,
basically
you may
what it
discover
is.
that I do have more than mere words.
That's
to
what I
offer.
recalled anyway from what I read. Because that's all I know from... So it's no
Aegis'
wonder
choice of punishment
he kind
has
of
been
lets his
hard
pride
on the
get to
people
his
of
head a
Riven,
little.
and many have suffered because of it. The island
Oh,
has been
yeah, my
steadily
text is not
decaying
updated.
for
My
years.
message is not updating. Okay.
But according to my most recent measurements, it appears that the 5th age has entered its final days.
There's a pull handle on the upper
Unless the
right.
villagers can be relocated soon, the island will collapse entirely and everyone will perish.
That would explain
It
it.
has
Like
taken me
he
a long
feels like
time to
this
do it,
dude
but
feels like a traditional
It appears
actor,
that finally
like
I'll be able to make some
Shakespearean.
substantial amends
And there's an
to
Easter
my
egg you can get
past
where he sings opera.
transgressions.
And yeah, that sounds
Especially
very
in-
yeah. Okay, that sounds very similar to,
Well,
albeit not as
I'm
extreme.
afraid I've had some
Albeit not as
trouble
extreme.
with
Something that
Catherine
I've
the moiety.
seen like 3 years ago.
in any
I might do
society, there will
a
always
story
be
time about it
small
like
percentage of
in
the
my second
population
channel
with
at some point once I have like
rebellious
my
tendencies.
doc out, but
Before
my
Catherine
documentary
appeared,
out,
the
but-
moiety, as they call themselves, had been relatively harmless. I mean, the natives
kinda
here
makes
are a fairly
sense.
violent people by nature.
Owen McLean.
But I'd almost come to accept their presence. It seemed inevitable under the circumstances. Upon Catherine's return, however, their violence intensified considerably.
Yeah, this dude has an interesting backstory. I need to really
become
read the
some
books
sort
now.
of religious
I haven't
savior
read
to them.
the
As
Book
far
of
as I can tell,
Beatrice,
she's
but
come to
again,
believe
this
this
YouTube
herself.
channel that did a
So I've had
walkthrough
no
this before.
alternative.
Shady Paradox.
I
He
had
did a
to
breakdown of the
separate her from her
novels.
people. I must must admit, though, that my
Oh my
concerns were not entirely for her
god!
safety
That's
alone.
awesome. That's
The
honestly
actions of
really
Catherine and the
awesome.
moiety have put my own life at risk
That like you
on
got to
numerous
meet
occasions.
them in real life.
Consequently, the lives of all the people here. Therefore, I must ask you to refrain from any attempt to free her. Although I'm sure Atris desires it. Indeed.
But yeah, I
He
figured
must
I'd just like
desire it
converse
with
with you
all his
guys
heart.
while this monologue
But
runs
he is
through.
completely unaware.
But yeah,
of her
Moiety
recent
make
state.
poisons and antidotes from it. He just makes recreational smoke.
Which brings me to the point of all of this.
Okay, now we're
Anything
getting to the
book you
interesting
brought
part.
with
Here's
you?
the book.
You're very fortunate to have recovered it. If I may.
Well, what else am I supposed to do when I'm in a cage again? Alright, so I know this is probably going to be a bad end. The probability is pretty good it's a really bad end, but I don't really care. I just want to see what happens. Oh, there's a pull chain in the upper right. Okay, I'm gonna pay attention to that. This one's just for the heck of it, just for the bad end. And yeah, he totally figured it out. Because I mean, the dude taught Atris everything he knows. I know, like that would actually be an interesting like fanfic prompt. You know, like, hey, again, I know, like, I know what you're thinking. Just like, let's.
Perhaps it would be best if you went through first.
All right. Chuck's book out the window. Chuck's book out the window. Yeah, it was a bad end. That is an interesting axe. Oh my god, he actually went through! Or did I die? I don't know. What? No, no, no! He actually went through! Oh my god! No! No, he actually went through! What? That was such a fluke, like such a string of luck right there that he just like, he had, like, the dude had an axe. The dude had an axe. Like you could see what he was thinking. Yeah, he did. So, yeah, basically, this is what basically, like, so tying it back to the first game a little bit. So, what we just went through, and now Gen is in, is basically a prison book. And Atris in particular did specify that it's a one-man prison book, meaning, excuse me, if somebody touched the book after me without altering it, the person trapped in the book would end up outside, and the person who touched it first would be outside, and then the person who just touched it would be in. And then if you rip the pages or destroy the book, whatever comes first, you're stuck there. You're basically stuck there for good. Yeah, considering how fast I went in, he probably figured out he probably thought it wasn't a trap, but it was. Mwahaha. It was. Let's see how far he got. So that's clearly the pen he uses for the art. Don't know if it's another one of his refined inks, but that could be it. I don't even want to know what that is. Looks like the equivalent of that projector display, so he looks like he might be building another one. Now what's this? Another dead book. But yet the dude was wielding an axe, which just proves that the guy hasn't changed a bit. He has not changed a bit. What's that? He got the book and taken him home from his crimes. That is kind of the plan, actually. So now that he's stuck in the prison book, we just need to figure out how to free Catherine next. No idea what that does. I'm assuming it affects these books. Let's try pulling on this. Okay, that drops down the page. So now we pretty much can just return to this at any time. And then we just need to figure out... So that's the furnace. What would the password be? That's what I'm wondering. It's like a music box or something. Look around at least. We're locked. Okay, brilliant. Can we look inside it to see what it's gonna show? Let's see what happens. Ah, nothing's there. Okay, let's just keep it at that. Maybe that's a lock. Let me see. Let me see. Oh. There was a record player then. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, that's music. I will say this much, he at least has good taste. Well, the one thing's for sure. I mean, at least he didn't figure out he didn't find where to source the crystal. So we know that it's in its office at least. So let's just go ahead and look around here. See what we can find. Huh. Interesting. What's that? Anyway. So I think these are Gen's parents. Or no, that's Gen's wife. That actually would be pretty cool to see. Yeah, I agree. And I think that's Gen's father, whose name is also Atris. Clearly, he was a man of many talents. Clearly, besides the age, he also could play piano, could play the flute. That's the password. That's the password. Okay. That's the password. I gotta replay that again a few more times. Let's read this journal first. Or let's see what's in the drawer. Just clothes. Okay, let's see the journal first, and then we'll go from there. Let's see. 86/9/29. I start this latest journal with astounding news. Catherine has returned to the Fifth Age, and through it sets my teeth on edge to say it. She's also vanished as quickly as she appeared, stolen from me by the rebels. As my guard tells it, she linked into the Fisher Plateau cage, as I'd guessed, when suddenly he was set upon by a band of rebels who darted him and spirited her away. I suspect the truth of the matter was that he was so dumbfounded at actually witnessing someone Lincoln after all this time that he presented an easy target for whichever rebel had happened by at that moment. Damnable luck of it! I did get a good enough look at her, though, to verify that it was indeed Catherine. He also claims that he inspected all of her belongings and found no linking book on her person, a fact which, if true, makes the question of why she's returned here all the more puzzling. While I am sick with frustration at having lost the only quarry that Cage has ever caught, I am also filled with hope. She may yet provide me with a way back to Dunny. It is true that I have managed, despite overwhelming odds, to break free of the confines of the Fifth Age and resume my mission to save my culture from extinction. But I fear that unless I am able to regain access to the vast resources that lie in that city's ruins, the task of reconstructing that great civilization will be impossible. If Catherine did bring a linking book with her, then I am halfway there. If not, then she is trapped in the Fifth Age, and I can assume that my emotionally crippled son will soon be along to rescue her. Either way, it is crucial to my plans I find her soon. Her presence here now forces me to take the rebels more seriously. I should have never permitted them to survive this long. And oh god. Oh yeah, but man, that goes to show that the dude needs to improve his security. He's gotten lax in his god complex, cause his password's kind of easy to guess. His dome passwords are pretty easy to guess. The cage security system is basically the exact same thing as Catherine used. The moiety easily got to me, both in terms of that cage and in terms of their actual home world, but the latter kind of makes sense. And just, well, I could kind of have a good guess as to what this password here is. The dude needs a VPN. Unfortunately, I'm not sponsored by one. Otherwise, it would have been a really good segue. But yeah, they're very similar sounds. Probably the same sounds. But, I'll listen to it a couple more times, because we know there's, 3 different sounds here. But yeah, let's see. Let's get to the next part. Once again, the Great Wark has demonstrated its usefulness to me. This past week, the villagers have been most difficult to manage. Apparently, they have learned of Catherine's arrival, and their fear of this mythic beast has been all that's kept them in line. Had I known how truthfully useful these prodigious creatures would prove to be, I would have perhaps captured more of them while the local population was still plentiful. Although, to be sure, if these disturbances continue, my current pets will be in no danger of perishing for lack of nourishment. Oh my god! This dude just... Goodness! Interesting taste in decorating, but just... why? Just why? 861013. The search for Catherine continues. I now deeply regret my mistake of having ever taught these primitive people anything at all about the books. Oh, God. I have to wash that out right now. It seems that with each passing day, I more sorely realize the extent to which they were not ready for that knowledge, not even in the simplified manner in which I had presented it to them. Their minds, adapted only to the exceptionally menial tasks of village life, were incapable of comprehending the art in all its complexity, and thus were unable to extract the essential underlying principles that are, ironically, so elegantly simple. It is obvious that much of the discord that exists between us stems from their failure to grasp the full meaning of the information I gave to them. Or it could be a little bit of something called a language barrier. Bet you haven't studied that in school. If they've been able to gain even the smallest glimpse of the future I planned for them, then this conflict would not exist. The minds of children are much more malleable. With the proper instruction, they have developed a more appropriate posture towards the culture that gave them their lives. Oh my god! Since the art was a metaphor for HyperCard, it's a simpler version Gen taught the Rivenese more akin to RPG Maker. That's not a bad metaphor, actually. Maybe? I mean, that's what it sounds like anyway. Especially considering the super limited supplies they have on Riven. Anyway, let's let's read this arrogant posturing. At times they take to it almost as if they had a bit of Dunny blood in them. Given the natives' inborn limitations, however, I'm quite careful that none gain a level of understanding that permit them to sin against their future the way that Catherine did. How foolish I was to think that she could contain such knowledge responsibly, when it was quite clear that my own son could not. Atris still remains one of the greatest disappointments of my life. Damn, that's your son! Oh my god! I should never have left him with my mother. By the time I'd returned for him, he had already been poisonous to all the thoughts of the Dunny. Perhaps it was the only way that she could rationalize the fact that she had been responsible for the collapse of their civilization. So much destruction, so many great lives lost. The guilt must have been unbearable. I do have vague recollections of the love she had for my father, and for my own world. For our own worlds, but ultimately she was an outsider whose ignorance of the Dunny became the catalyst of their demise. I'm guessing that, I think that is his mother actually in the picture. Anyway, if I am able to rebuild our culture and in the process connect such crucial weaknesses, then perhaps what she did was ultimately necessary, in order that a new era of prosperity might someday come to pass. That's basically what he said. Oh my god, yeah. Like, he's just underestimating their intelligence. But then, here's the funny part. I think Gen kind of is in the school. So, here's where the debate of, like, Mist kind of comes in. Of whether or not those who practice the art are writing the ages or just bridging to them. I think it's a combination of both. Ultimately, it depends on the world. But I think in this case, it's a bridge. But on the other hand, though, it's like here, it's like he's kind of leaning more towards the like, I think he definitely is more of the create camp. But here, it seems like he's leaning more towards the bridge camp a little bit. Okay, it was Kita. Okay, so it is his wife. Okay, I wanted to be sure, because I wasn't sure, because he mentioned his mother in here, and I was like, is that his mother or is that his wife? I wasn't sure. So now I know it's his wife. Thank you. I just really need to read the books. I heard they're republishing them, because they're remaking Riven, so I hope to read those soon, because I really want to get more of the backstory. Anyway, 8714. These last few weeks, I have found myself frequently beset by images from the past. As I stood in the schoolroom today, I was reminded of my own childhood, the years I spent in the Bookmakers Guild, Father's immense pride at each of my small accomplishments there. He was an important man in the Dunny world, but I can't bear to think of him for long. It's too much. I was too young to see such a thing. You can see Kita in the cage or the Carillion handle in this room as well. Okay, I gotta keep a lookout for that. 8728. I've got her! Late last night, I received word that Catherine was in the village attempting to persuade the people to join her. I lost 2 good men in the process, but I would have paid 100 times that number for such a prize. She's been taken to the prison island, where I've been attempting to gain some insight as to the reason for her presence here. I've had to fight the all but constant impulse to put her on the gallows. She's adopted the most infuriating stance of only answering my questions, when she answers them at all in her native tongue. Even so, she is a poor liar. I'm now quite certain that her return to Riven was unintentional, and that she brought no linking book with her. As far as her unwillingness to share with me the location of the moiety, we shall see. Without their leader, however, they are once again powerless against me. If Catherine's coming here was indeed an accident, then Atris is bound to come for her. That is a given. The question I must now consider is, how will we do it? It is likely that his hesitation has been due, at least in part, to this dilemma. One way or another, though, he'll have to bring a linking book to get back to Dunny. There is no other way. 87620. It's late and I cannot sleep. I've lost so much in my life. I wonder why! Anyway, my people, my father, my son, and you, my wife, Kita. You were the only true kindness I've ever known. Watching you flicker there in the imager, I sometimes wonder if you were real. If I could restore your life with my pen, I would do so in an instant and leave the rest of the world to their own wretched fate. I wonder if he had a book of Kita. Like, wait a second, is that like the one that's blacked out on the table? I wonder if that's the one blacked out on the table. That's sad, but that still brings no excuses to how you tortured the Rivenese. He lost 2 men. I wonder because they died or they got convinced by Catherine. I would not be surprised if either thing happened. I would not be surprised if Catherine convinced them, but considering how dire she sounded in her journal, I would also not be surprised if she killed them either. Or the moiety killed them, even. Anyway, 87-730. Damn these savages. I'd be well advised to leave them all in the 5th age and begin again with a clean sheet of paper. A stranger has arrived on Riven with a linking book to Duddy. Oh, and that would be me. That would be me, apparently. And once again, my useless minion was overtaken by the rebels. From what little I could decipher from his muddled explanation, it apparently occurred sometime this morning. The cage has been damaged, but it is no matter. Everything I need is here now. Aegis is certainly behind this, yet how could he be so foolish as to send someone here with a linking book? Such blatancy is unlike him. Could it be that he's had a change of heart? After all these years, is he finally letting his poor old father go? No. He's only after one thing. Perhaps he should find her. For now, I need only to wait and observe. So yeah, I think he knew it was a trap, but he just went for it anyway, because I think like his thing for Dunny just kind of overtook him. Yeah, that's basically it. He's basically the steward of Gondor. Son, just go do your thing. My son is dead. And it's like, leave while everybody else is all like, bro, he's not dead. I watched all of the Lord of the Rings, like, the extended versions when I was in Boston last month, like, in like, January. It was great. Okay, let's see what this is. Okay, that's just a bedspread. That's a really nice bedspread. Like, that's really fancy right there. So I gotta go for that password again in a little bit. I just want to like check out this room for a sec. I don't know what this is supposed to be. I'm assuming it's like molten metal or something, or water. Sounds like water. Anyway, or maybe it's heated water. Maybe that's what the furnace is. Anyway, let's check this out. Obviously a projector.
Natsu? Shima? Shorate. Mata neta.
Aw.
Tagamem. San botegan shem. Fasi.
That's his wife. So now I really need to read the books now, because I wonder what happened to her. What had her disappear like that? Knowing Gen, he's probably made this like a 5 simple password. My minion also told us to be the stranger doesn't speak any of his languages, leading me to assume they must be from the Earth. We would explain to him welcoming you in English. Yeah, I think they've already, I think they must have linked to Earth at least once. They must have linked to Earth at least once, because, I mean, later on, I mean, not exactly a spoiler, but, like, in the 3rd game, we linked to Tamarda, which is basically, like, the Earth equivalent of which is basically in Earth we call it New Mexico. Did it change? Okay, let me listen to it one more time. Okay. Twist. Ding. Twist. Scrick. Twist. Like, click. Yeah, no, wait, it's... No. Let me describe it. So it's click, ding, click, twist, click. That's what it is. Click, ding, click, twist, click. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, if I think of it like a clock, click, ding, click, ding, click, twist, click. Kind of like a clock. That's you are. But yeah, knowing him with his obsession with the number 5, just like Zero's obsession with the number 9. If anybody's played 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors, you know what I'm talking about. Boppy! Oh my god. That's basically it. Oh my god. I played Bop It so much. Like, I think I got up to like 112 because I obsessively played it. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. 999, 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. Because the series is literally called the Nonary game. So, like, everything is about seeking out the number 9. Although slightly different with the first game. If you've gotten to the true ending, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's hear what. Let me hear the buttons again. I think it's this ding. Yep. Alright. I did it correct the first time. Yeah, the Zero Escape. Yeah, the Zero Escape trilogy. That's precisely it. And then that was the handle you were talking about in the top right there. Okay. Yeah, I just noticed it now. Yeah, the series is called Zero Escape, the Zero Escape trilogy, because, like, there's 3 of them. 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors, Virtue's Last Reward, and Zero Time Dilemma.
We have to move quickly. Gen's people may already know what's happening. Once we're back with the moiety, we'll have time to regroup. Can I see the book?
He's already trapped in there.
Did it. We're all free. You captured Gen.
Yeah, it was not easy.
But there still his followers. I'm not sure what I'll do once I realize he's gone. I'll have to get the villagers to safety as soon as possible. You go back to the Temple Island and reopen the fissure. I know it's risky, but it's the only way to save the Latris. I'll try to make it back there as soon as I can, but don't wait for me.
How are you gonna get back?
Don't forget, the portal combination's in my journal. Good luck.
Okay. Well, listen, the fissure's the only way out. I wanted to see what Catherine's present actually looked like more in depth, but... Where's my mouse? My cursor. Alright, let's see. We did it. Now, ending is opening the fissure. I did not expect that we were going to get the end this quickly. For the sake of just saving it, I just want to see, like, what, like, the prison actually looks like. Oh, we can't. Oh, yeah, it's locked out now. So, we have to go back. And I was the one that was trouble. This is the one I was having trouble with, anyway. Yeah, this is like the only one I was never gonna find, really. Alright. Yeah, Catherine just makes you go straight to business. Okay, so it's I know it's 20. It's 20. 5, 10, 15, 20, 24. I think it's like 23. 21, 19, and 10. I think is what it is. But yeah, like, sis was not wasting any time. I don't blame her. Alright, here we go. So, I think this is the, I don't know if it's the true end, or like the, or this is like the true end or the canonical ending, but this already looks a little familiar from what I watched when I was younger. Well, I mean, also she's been like in prison for like how long? Like 2 weeks, like for like almost 2 days, maybe 3, all by herself. So I don't blame her. Wait, how did the cage come back up? I pulled it down. Y'all saw that, remember? Unless it comes back up every time I... Oh, I shouldn't have done that. This was a jungle one, right? No, that is not the jungle one, but... Oh, wait, no, she said temple. She said temple. I remember now. How to win against Atreus and Catherine. Kath, that's the fucking trap again. You. No, it's like the Dunny. Atreus gave it to me. He's waiting there. Oh, thanks. Touches it. You really want the villain ending, don't you? You really want that villain ending, don't you? Like... If anybody wants to, like, write, like, Miss fanfiction as, like, an AU of, like, Gen taking over everything, I would gladly read it. Like, I'd gladly read that. Anyway, let's, But yeah, she's a girl on a mission. She is not here to play, because she's been stuck here for, like... goodness knows how long. No doubt, like, Gen's people have figured it out. I wrote down the password for the telescope here. Apparently the ending changes slightly if you open the door before you go to Gen's place. Which, I don't know how it does, but anyway. Let's get in here. Lack of Riven fanfiction is like a missed opportunity. Missed opportunity. That's good. That's really good. Okay, let's bring this down. Man, you can hear like the power going through it. Okay. Okay, telescope's to the right. And then... I think I remember correctly, I think you basically have to... Like, because... Okay, let me show you. This whole thing here is the Starfisher. So basically, if we manage to break this, it basically opens it up. Okay, so I remember it's 1, 1, 5, 4, 1. Yeah, that's a Starfisher right here. One last look. It's a riveting mystery that there's such little Riven fan fiction. Yeah, I know. I think it's just like because it's told by itself pretty well. But yeah, there's seriously some more Riven fan fiction. Like I would love to like see stuff from like the Rivenese and the moiety point of view of all of this. Like it would be so cool to see that. But yeah, I think if I remember correctly from the journal, you basically have to put the telescope to its maximum setting for it to break this. It'll really open up the fissure. So let's see what happens. I feel like that moment in Abduction when I connected the battery. Then again, all the books did say that the Starfisher actually wasn't a bad place to be in. I mean, that's how I found the book in the first place, so if it once I can do it again. Okay, one last look and then we are going into space. My god. Okay. Here we go. Doesn't seem to be working. There's a lot of missed fanfiction, though. We have at least 3 games worth of fanfic after Exile. That is true. I mean, there's Uru, which is technically an MMO. Then there's Revelation and End of Ages, which unfortunately the latter two is not compatible with my computer. That's why I'm sticking with the OG trilogy. Is this? Alright, that should do it. Well, that's a signal if I've ever seen one. Should I run? Oh god. I hope Catherine at least evacuated the villagers. Atris? They're just falling apart.
There isn't much time. Where's Catherine?
It's just what?
Where's the book?
Atris!
Right here. I agree.
The villagers are safely in the Rebel Age.
Oh, good.
I thank you.
As do I. You've accomplished more than I could have hoped for. You've given me back my life. The path home is now clear for all of us.
How do we go back?
This is where our paths must part. Perhaps we'll meet again someday. You know where to find me.
Wait. Atris, what are you doing?
Goodbye, my friend.
Wait a second, what? Oh my gosh. It's like a scar on the universe. But also almost like a black hole bubble.
Now I understand. Endings and beginnings are within the fissure, that riven cleft of stars that acts as both a wall and a bridge. And though I am unable to understand how, the very flow of stars that brought my mistbook into worthy hands, I am sure served as a safe passage home for my friend. The age of Riven is closed forever, but the people of Riven are free. And now I am at rest, understanding that in books and ages and life, the ending can never truly be written.
Holy smokes! Yeah, if I didn't fall like head first, I could have died right there. Holy smokes. But yeah, that's the ending. That's the ending that I remember. That's the ending that I remember. Was this one, which was falling into the fissure and then thus in space. That's what I'm thinking too. Like, it felt like it's almost like you're making like fissures or black holes or like balls in space. Because like it feels like the way that like those worlds are made, it reminds me of a black hole. And also the way that those worlds are shaped, especially, that's why I think abduction could easily be part of the Mist universe. At least to me. Like, you could easily make a canon. Although instead of it being, I mean, that would basically show that like linking books are only one method of linking to different worlds. Those seeds, and in turn those abduction units that like the Hunrath citizens and the villains and the Mofang managed to create. That's another way we could travel around. I can imagine it being more towards the future compared to like the 90s and 2000s, where this Dunny stuff tends to occur in. The gallant man recalls that all ages were floating like black holes apart in the breathable starry expanse, that the Dunny age is supposedly inside our same planet. That's interesting. But also, I would love to go to Mysterium, which is the convention that happens on like the Cyan World's grounds, up in the West Coast, I think. And then there's another Mist convention that happens in New Zealand. Unfortunately, I can't remember what exactly it is called, but I would love to go there. In Mist 5, for how canonical that can be, the Barros are a race of beings that can link by themselves without devices, and taking their skin off, you can make a linking cloth. Interesting. It's kind of similar to with the moiety, they have those crystals that act like the charging units of the books that we saw with Gen's lab, or like how if you had the proper tools, how a proper linking book would be able to just show the image. But yeah, that's the canonical ending of Riven. That's what I remember, definitely. I did not think we were going to end this quickly, but here we are. I'm happy that we did, though. Like, I would love to finish this. So go look at the conventions via book travel. That's good. So, next in the series of this OG trilogy is Exile. I would love, like, book transportation. Do you know how cool that would be? Like, man, that would be so amazing if we could do that. Like, I would go practically everywhere and anywhere with that. Oh man. That but I am happy to say that we are actually done. We're actually done with Riven. So I am so happy to say that. So that's now 2 completed. Like, that's mind blowing that happened so quickly. So the next one is Exile, which you could tell, like, when you play the game, you can tell, like, the quality and, like, the budget has definitely been upped, like, really epically. They even hired Brian Dorfman, who is pretty famous for doing a lot of That's hilarious. But like Brian Dorfman's hired, like if his name sounds familiar, he tends to do a lot of those kind of creepy vibe characters a little bit, or like scientists who are a little bit too passionate about what they do. The only, like, the one that's coming to mind is like is Alien Resurrection, which I know is not a good, it's not a good Alien film. But it makes Alien 3 actually like a masterpiece in comparison. Let me see what else he's done. Brian Dorfman. But yeah, or was it Dorfman? I know his last name is Dorfman. His face is like right there. No, it's not Brian Dorfman, but I know it's something similar. Let me see. Miss 3, Exile. Let's get the cast here. But like, there's a really famous Hollywood actor in there. And then the other part is that the music's by Jack Wall, which, if that name sounds familiar, he's the one who did the score for the Mass Effect trilogy. The OG Mass Effect trilogy. Let's see. Trying to find the cast here. Brad Dourif, that's his name. Brad Dourif. Oh my god, he's in his 70s? Oh my goodness. I didn't think he was up there. But yeah, I remembered him in Alien Resurrection mostly. Oh my god, he was in this movie called Sworn to Justice with Cynthia Rothrock, who's a martial artist from my home state. He also was in Dune, the 80s adaptation with Patrick Stewart. And Deadwood, that was the other thing I remember him in, Deadwood. And he also played Billy Bibbit in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And he was Wormtongue in Lord of the Rings. That's what it was. Oh my gosh. He was Wormtongue. I can't believe I forgot all that. But yeah, Brad Dourif, he has done a lot of interesting roles. Most of the ones who just get like those characters that get a little too into their field. In terms of his recent stuff, let me see if I can like pull up my screen real quick. His most recent roles are Chucky for Ready Player One, because he played Chucky in the original films and the remake. And 2021, he was in the Shrew Process. That sounds like that almost sounds like Bollywood, like, even though it's not. Let's see. Self-help industry kind of things. Kind of call out. I definitely need to check this out, considering my major. And then in terms of television, oh yeah, I forgot he was in Murder, She Wrote as well. He's in Chucky currently, and then he also was in Deadwood and I think season 2 or 3 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And he's made a lot of games, of course. And I remember him in Dishonored as Joplin. But yeah, he's done a lot, and I mean a lot of work. That's incredible. But yeah, he's the Vidro. Cyan, the ending can never be written. Also, Cyan missed 5 end of ages. I have no idea. I can't play it until I get a Windows computer, unfortunately, the latter two. But I kind of heard of the twisty nature of, like, the really strange twisty nature of those two games. I know Uru now is open source, but there have been requests for a remake of Uru, especially now that, like, VR is a thing. So like, I would love, like, a VR remake of Uru, especially now that we, like, I feel like Uru is a game that had an amazing concept. It just came out way too soon. And then now that we have, like, the present technology to, like, update it much more, it's like we just don't have, like, yeah, basically Uru could be Cyan's version of VR chat. So, like, if we got enough people, like, to, like, show interest, like, hey, you could totally resurrect Uru in present technology and it would work so much better. Like, I don't see why not. Like, if we start, like, especially even if we got, like, a Kickstarter maybe, or not really a Kickstarter, but, like, if we managed to get, like, a crew all set to go of, like, displaying, like, hey, this is what Uru could be. If we get your seal of approval to make it official, then we could just take care of the development ourselves. Like, no need to worry about any of that. We'll give you all the credit, of course. You'll just give us your blessing, and then we'll just go with what you wanted to be, and then we'll just go from there. That would be so cool, right? Like, if they had the funding, they should totally, like, make their own console which looks like a book. Like, honestly, like, we haven't really gotten anything original since, like, the console wars of, like, the 90s and 2000s. Like, I would love, the Switch was pretty revolutionary with the fact that it's portable. You can hook it up to your TV. You got different you got, like, the controllers and stuff, although they have the drift issues sometimes. I still need to get a Switch, by the way. Sorry, friends. Or send the Switch the link, and then pray Nintendo does not sue for similarities to the protagonist of Legend of Zelda. I am saving up for the OLED version of the Switch at some point, but I know I am super behind. I know by the time I finally get into Animal Crossing, it's when everybody else is like, we're over that. We got it out of our system like 2 years ago. Put your hand up to the book and it boots up your TV. I love this. I did hear about Project Diva on Switch. I did hear about that. I do feel sorry for the Joy-Cons. I agree. I absolutely agree. But well, that is the canonical ending of Riven. Maybe in a future stream, and maybe like an offline video, I might also look at the endings that we managed to dodge like a bullet. There's like apparently there's like 6 alternate endings in Riven, which is insane. But hey, it's a game. You gotta do what you gotta do. The tree dwellers also had inks and knew what writing was. I wonder what we read in the book of what we read in the book of Channelwood. Oh yeah, that's right. Like the Channelwood age, like they had a lot of intelligent people there. There was that one human like person that was there that like ultimately died. And then there was also the Let me see. That was I think it was the Selenitic Age, the one with the four, or was it Mechanical that had that like there was like a war going on, and so Atris, Sirius, and Achenar tried to construct a fortress. Am I mixing it up with Channelwood? It's been like a few weeks. It's been like a couple weeks since I played Myst, so I don't remember it too well. But I remember there was one world that he talked about where like there was a war going on, so that he created a fortress to protect the townspeople. And then Channelwood had its own thing going on too with like, or maybe I'm mixing it up with yes, that was Mechanical. And then there was there was that other one with I think it was Stone Ship. I'm leaning towards Stone Ship, where there was like those pirate ships with like the crescent and the star flags. Crescent and four-pointed star black flags that were coming in. And then there was also, or maybe I mixed it up Mechanical again. And then there was the for Channelwood in particular, what I do remember is that apparently there's like a human city that was underground, but then all of a sudden kind of sank underneath. So then those city dwellers became tree dwellers as a result. Because of that instability, but like the city supposedly is still underneath. Now I feel like reading all these books, and also I just want to check out like the fanfic, see if they've actually detailed like their lives before all these things went down in these ages, and maybe afterwards, because I would love to read them. Like, if I actually had the energy to, I would also love to write it all out, to see what else I can come up with. Because I mean, I feel like Myst and Abduction by extension, they have like so many possibilities, especially in today's yeah, that's what I thought for the Channelwood. But yeah, like Myst and Abduction have so many creative possibilities in today's world, especially. Like there's so many things that we could actually do now that the tech has improved significantly. And I know in particular, I know Cyan Worlds has attempted several times to get Myst adapted into a TV series. Which, I mean, adapted as an anime, it'd be so easy to try and talk about these these ages and their experiences in them much more easily. But yeah, like I would love to see a Myst series, like a Myst TV series proper. I know, granted, unfortunately, they're probably not gonna be able to get like Brad Dourif, because he is pretty up there now. Like he's like in his 70s, which I did not think he was up there, but he is. So they're gonna have to find somebody with like that equivalent of gravitas for some of these people, and then I also, again, would love to get an adaptation, especially of like the prequel material, like the book of Atris, the book of like those 3 books here. Oh, actually, there is one thing I can do before we go. Myst Journey actually uploaded the 5 journals of Riven. Like they actually backed it up, because back in the day, when Riven was originally released in the 90s, yeah, kind of, yeah, like basically that, like something kind of like the Matrix, but like with Matrix, with like picking somebody who's the stranger, but maybe like giving the stranger an actual name, and Atris instead of Morpheus. Yeah, I kind of like that. Exactly like that. Come to think of it. Of course, we have to give the stranger a name. We can't really just go analog with this one. I think we do need to give the character a personality, especially with like what's probably going to happen in the worlds, and especially with how much it's going to like the strongest presumption I'm giving, although of course is a very, very strong presumption, is I think the stranger's from Earth. Of course, Given that it's in the middle of a breathable starfisher, breathable starfisher, it might like they could be from another planet, from another world, kind of like abduction to the starfisher. But other than that, I can totally see like a trilogy series, at least like a trilogy of series. Each part of the trilogy could be about like 10 or 12 self-contained episodes, kind of like The Mandalorian in a way, but still connected. Or Star Trek Picard is a better analogy, actually. Like Star Trek Picard, you got 3 seasons, but each of those seasons have like self-contained arcs linking together for each of the 3. But yeah, that kind of stuff. So yeah, one thing I could show you actually, which happened. Instead of construct, you could have more for just the way we would say we are in the hypercar. You are really into this hypercar thing. But yeah, there's one thing I can show you before I officially end Riven, which is the Mist Journals. Because the Mist Journals were uploaded onto 90s internet. Like back in 1997, prior to the release of Riven, they put these up. And they were a series of puzzles that revealed a little something about Riven, but not all the information contained in these journals should be taken literally. According to Richard Watson, I think he's one of the directors at Cyan, the story of Clavino, for instance, is apocryphal, and in early 2000, the Riven journals were taken down. So I have the transcripts of these, and I'm going to put up like what actually looks like, so I'm going to go through like each book one by one. So this is one of them here. That's like really elaborate. I like this. So that's in the temple here. But yeah, you can see like how elaborate they went with this. Ra was the retcon guy, as far as I recall. Richard Watson, or somebody else. But yeah, here's journal number 2 here, which thankfully somebody has detailed the text. Final Fantasy 14. It might be a little bit before I get to that one, but I promise you I will get to it. Okay, so he Richard Watson retconned quite a bit. Got a lot of research I gotta do. There's also, thankfully, a lot of docs about Myst on YouTube that I could just check out. And, of course, this site's backed up quite a bit of it as well. So here's a transcript of this one. It is hereby decreed that members of this guild pursue the design of a mechanized transport system. It shall be adequate to span the increasing separation of land masses in this wholly unstable age. And it has a signature of Gen's name in the Dunny language. So it looks like kind of reminds me of Braille a little bit here. And but yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, I know Myst is a lot of interesting history that I really want to look into at some point. And then we got a 3D book. That is fun. I miss 3D books. Typical shifting land mass. Note, most bridges have fared well, but the more significant tectonic plate shifts have rendered several useless to something long spaces. I'm assuming this must be with Gen's dad's guild, who his name is also Atreus, if I remember correctly, but maybe it's a more independent one. Proposed transport vehicle, which is the magna rails we've been riding through the entire game. Here's detail on the vehicle control, which is the spin around and then, which is nice. I like that. And the magnetic coils that we're riding on, of course. A balance, covered up here. Through calculations, I think it's something alongside the functional power distribution to be full 7 units below the optimum 55. Note slight imperfections in the metal may affect the symmetry of the transport's magnetic fields of power. And that's the last one here. Now, journal number 3 is this one. I'm mainly reading from the transcript here, but I want to cover that. Thanks for tuning in, Gallant Man. Hope you have a nice night, too. But here it is. Even as I write this, the ink refuses to stay grounded to the surface. And what remains is more surprising still. Certainly, this is some unique variant of the art. Harvesting the raw materials for writing began with the falling of trees, which is what we saw in the village area. From these laborious yet fruitful efforts, I found purpose in my days here. And I think that's like underground here, around the forest area. Likewise, the acquisition of ink has given rise to beautifully functional reservoirs, each elegantly symbolizing the ink's source. Of all elements, ink is the most critical as well as the most difficult to acquire. With the flowing of a hidden current, the chamber's foundation aligns the elements in a symbolic union, such as the cyclical nature of the art. There are inscriptions give testament to our achievements. No detail is incidental to the whole, and this final one's no exception. And apparently, it's from that chamber, like in the temple area. So apparently the Denny text reads, Pod Rehemen Alem, each flows ink. Knowledge united in word and form pays tribute to our most critical resource. And then I'm going to open up journal number 4 and 5, like pre-open these. Oh wait, I can't pre-open them. Hold on. So here's number 4. The waters surrounding this penitential promontory, that's very famous, that's very fancy, have the most curious assortment of creatures. Promontory? Is that a real name? Is that a real word? Promontory. According to the New Oxford American Dictionary, promontory, a point of high land that juts out into a large body of water, a headland. From mid-16th century, from Latin promontorium, variant, if it's mons mont, meaning mountain, of promontorium. One unique species of aquatic beings in particular draws my interest as worthy of scientific observation. With their lumbering bodies and strangely delicate flipper appendages, these mammals seem like refugees from some bygone era. These creatures find sustenance in a manner that belies their physical size. Using an efficient baleen feeding mechanism, they survive by ingesting the colonies of microscopic organisms that thrive in these waters. As passive as these beasts are in their quest for food, they are themselves simply another link in the chain. I don't know what this is. The perennial predator, man, remains at the top of that order. Ironically, the children of the native inhabitants seem to love this creature, drawing countless pictures in adoration of the same mammoth body which the elders would just as soon harpoon for the evening meal. The islanders used the generous pelts of these animals to make rudimentary clothing and pouches. Though objects made from their distinctive dual-colored hides, these animals manifest their particular characteristics even after death. As for the creature's origin itself, I can only speculate. This dunny text reads, Behapo, possibly meaning sunner. What evolutionary anomaly could have resulted in such an impressive oddity? I'm assuming it's those, it's like that matchup between like a seal and a penguin. Those giant bird things we saw. And then finally, let's go through journal number 5. And then I will not hold you for long. Because I know it's pretty late in Europe. It's first thing in the morning in Asia. And it's slightly past your time here in the US. Alright, last one. Joe number 5. Countless generations ago, well before the Great Exodus, there was a courageous Dunny explorer named Clavino who was the first to travel to another world without the aid of descriptive books. Clavino, a nobleman of the highest ranks, engineered an astounding craft unlike any other for physical transport from the confines of the known stars. Ever cautious, he kept a soul-linking book close at hand that could transport him safely to an age he called Haven, where his wife and child waited in anticipation of his return. He traveled in silent isolation for several years before his craft's instruments confirmed a celestial body with an accommodating environment. He describes it as having a unique aura and unlike any other that has presented itself before me. Surely this is a good omen. The omen did indeed indicate good fortune for Clavino, if only for a brief time. With a keen ability to assimilate into this newfound world, he lived among them covertly as a traveler from across the seas. He quickly learned the language, customs, and technology, and, befitting his nature, became well respected in their community. Days prior to the completion of his studies and consequential return home, his starcraft was discovered by the native inhabitants. In violent reaction to what they deemed as a betrayal beyond reprieve, Clavino was sentenced to death. His body was severed into 5 parts, which were distributed across land and sea as a warning to others. His single valued possession, the linking book, was then fed to a sea beast, the inverter remains of which linked to the feet of Clavino's greed-stricken family. A spherical time translator for converting Dunny time to surface time uses this tale as a symbolic reminder. This device, engraved with the map of Clavino's vindictive world, must be held at the 5 points where his body was distributed. Applying pressure sequentially with the final touch of the sea beast opens the timepiece. It serves as a constant reminder to be wary of contact with worlds over which you have no influence or control. That sounds like a temporal prime directive to me. A very twisted version of the temporal prime directive, but a temporal prime directive nevertheless. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. So, they say it's allegorical, but considering that piece was like a huge clue, and then especially, oh man, I just thought about what the sounds mean. Click, click, ding, click, click, twist, click. Oh my god. That's wild. That is wild. Oh my gosh. I didn't think I was going to end with that, but hey, I've watched quite a number of and read quite a number of European fairy tales. This one's no different. And I've watched enough anime and read enough manga to know where this is going. Oh boy. But yeah, that is Riven. I did not expect this to be the final part, but it is. I did take some time and I properly put all the parts, with the exception of this one, of course, in a proper playlist. So if you look up the Mist Trilogy on my YouTube channel, DJ MK Off the Air, please feel free to watch them in your own time. I will explain it via DM of like what I meant by that. But anyway, here is what's coming up on this channel. So we're gonna start up with Mist Exile on Wednesday. So keep an eye out for that stream. That should be like around like the afternoon hours, so like around like 3 p.m. my time, give or take a little bit. Then Sneaky Sasquatch Saturday, and then maybe a chill stream on Sunday. And then, yeah, so Exile literally is the only thing left in terms of the OG trilogy. And then we've got Kern, Undying Thoughts, Projection, Kingdom Hearts 2, and I know, you've been waiting for me to do Final Fantasy XIV. I know you've been waiting for me to do that, so I will find time to do it. I think right now it might be a little bit too soon. I need to like I need some space to like definitely do this, like really dive into it, especially with how long that game is. But yeah, speaking of Yo, they've been a subscriber for a while, so thank you for tuning into these streams, even though it's like, I don't know, it's gotta be like 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning over there right now. If you want to help them, please feel free to check out their GoFundMe. Link is in the description of the YouTube channel if you want to jump on there as well. But yeah, here's all of my social media. I recently uploaded a really nice TikTok on Easter, in honor of Easter today and yesterday. It was kind of recorded on a whim. I just pulled out a couple of my Coldplay records, and it was like in the middle of painting. The light just happened to hit just right on the video. It was just for fun, and then I was like, let me put this up because I really liked it. So I hope you enjoy it as well. All my previous playthroughs are also on my YouTube channel. I've got a video coming up on my second YouTube channel, as well as Vimeo, next month, so keep an eye out for that. And if you want any updates, feel free to check out my Discord or my Twitter. But yeah, finally, this episode was filmed in the lands of the Lenape and the Nanticoke tribes. To learn more, visit native-land.ca to find out whose land are you living on. It's especially important for those who live in the Americas, Australia, New Zealand. Those places that have the most updates, really. But yeah, the Americas especially, we need to know. We absolutely need to know. I know Europe's been going through some updates as well. If you want to contribute to that, go to that site. And I know some African countries have kind of been like, it's a bit of a debate over there as to what's considered indigenous, especially with how diverse we are. But I would love it if they could contribute as well, because I would love to know. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is so much fun to do. So the next part is Exile, and yeah, just make sure you just drink plenty of water, read a lot of good books. Happy Easter for those who celebrate it. Ramadan Mubarak. Happy Passover. There's a bunch of holidays that happened this week, so if I haven't covered it, I hope you had an awesome time. And if you don't really do holidays, I just hope you have a good week and have a good rest of your day. But until next stream, stay safe and may your heart be your guiding key. Bye, everybody. Thank you.